Never, 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 never give up. Rick, you talk about world peace. Never, 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 never give up. You may not succeed, but what's the line you've all heard? If we can't succeed, we're going to die trying. Well, I'm going to tell you a secret. We're not going to get out of this life alive. Did anybody warn you about that? You are not going to make it out of this life alive. So, since I know up front that in the end, I'm not going to make it out alive, I might as well have a good time doing it. So I basically have two things that I want to accomplish with my life. I want to have a good time. And I believe that the worth of an individual is what he can contribute to others. Now, I didn't start out with this attitude. I started out with the attitude, like all babies, which is me, 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 me. And if you notice, when you deal with senior citizens, what do they address during their life? Me, me, me. So we start out being self-centered. We grow up to be more open-minded, and we're concerned about our families and our friends and our groups we belong to. And then if some people are of a higher plane, they're concerned about the future of mankind and the future of the planets and environmentalism, which is all the living things of the planet. And then you move to a higher plane of being concerned about spirits and then God. And then as we get older, we stop worrying about all our friends, we stop worrying about the world conditions, environmentalism, and we work our way down to all we're concerned about is me, me, me. My father's 94 years old, and he'll sit there, and if he's at the table and you start having a conversation with somebody else, he'll get upset that you're not talking to him. Because my father's the center of the universe. And this is true of a lot of people. But I'm not there yet. So I'm still concerned with other people. And I set as a goal for myself, which some people think is really interesting or unusual or that I'm crazy. But we've established years ago that I am crazy. I figure, how do you measure how much you've contributed to other people? You got to have a measurement. And I figured that the measure might be how many people show up for my funeral. Because you've heard about people who have a funeral and nobody shows up for them because they never cared about anybody else and everything they did was about me, me, me. But if you're altruistic and you care about people and you have a lot of friends, and what does it mean to have a lot of friends? It means you have a lot of people you care about. And they care about you because you care about them. And frankly, if you don't care about your friends, you will quickly find that they don't care about you. But I figured that when I die, the number of people that show up at my funeral will tell me how well the job was of living. Now, since I do believe that there is life after death, I'll be at my funeral. And I'll be able to see how many people show up. And then I'll keep notes. So in my next lifetime, if I can remember what happened, then I can get even with them. And that's how wars are started, because you got all those people that you're mad at from previous times, and you don't remember it, but you really are mad at them, and you start a war with them. I didn't used to have this attitude. I acquired this attitude pretty much when I became a Scientologist. Somebody once said to me, a king, we'd say, you know, it's good to be a king. I want to be king. You look at a king, everybody supports the king. Everybody supports the king. So how valuable is a king? Well, a king isn't valuable at all unless he is trying to help his people. It's the same thing with a politician, but a politician has to get elected. A king doesn't have to get elected. So you begin to look at, a king is not a very valuable person because he only takes. But if you have a benevolent dictator or some kind of person that's a leader and who actually cares about the people, or you talk about congressmen who actually care about their constituents and not about getting reelected, because if it's about being reelected, it's about me, me, me again. But if they actually care about accomplishing something, regardless if they don't get reelected or they antagonize their parishioners, it's okay. And it's the same thing with a minister. So I learned that if I'm going to be a leader, I have to be a leader interested in my group. And that's my goal. And even when I'm accumulating money, which is one of the things I love, money. I love to handle this stuff, you know. Keeps me going, keeps the game going, the money. It's green, see, it's environmental. It's ecological because it's green. So there you have a little bit more about your president, Willard Michlin, Mr. Toastmaster.